Okay, so good morning, class. So today, we have a couple things that we're gonna go over. So we're gonna go over, how to be a good writer. So last week we already talked about, all of these things, but we're gonna go back over it because we seem to still have some problems with it. Specifically with capitalization and finger spacing. So, to begin, we're gonna say our I can statement for today. And our I can statement is, I can use proper capitalization and spacing in my writing. So let's all repeat that. I can use proper capitalization and spacing in my writing. So, we have to remember that every time we start a sentence, it should begin with the capital letter. So, when you begin your sentence out, you see how we have the capital and the lowercase letters? You want to always start with the capital, and that's how you identify the beginning of the sentence. And then you want to focus on our finger spacing. So you should have an appropriate amount of space between your words to make sure that the reader can read the passage or the writing correctly. So for example, if we have all of our words put together like this, it's going to be hard to read. There's no spaces in between. So I like my ice cream. That's way too fast. Somebody listening or reading is not gonna be able to understand. But like this, we have a finger space in between each word that shows the difference between each word.
Is it I like to play catch with my brother?
So now we have a video describing punctuation and spacing throughout the video.
We play catch every Sunday.
And throughout the video, tell me what punctuation that you can identify.
Last Sunday we played period backyard, and I had the comma.
Yes. So, pay attention to backyard.
And notice the spacing of the words. They're not all ran together or far apart.
We stayed outside for an hour.
Yeah, so, we did stay outside for an hour, and then anyone like to point out what the conclusion was, and kind of just see the question.
The conclusion, I was saying correct.
Yeah, so I was saying change. So then we look at, the photos right here. So we have a picture of me playing catch, me and my brother. Then we have a picture of me and a ball, and we have a picture of me and a ball.
See how the words are all close together? You can't even read them.
Specifically about the picture.
There's labels.
And what are the labels symbolizing?
The first one is like the people in the story. The second one is the falls. And the third one is the
And then how do you do these photos help different stories?
Visualize what we're talking about, and then we just say like what you're doing.
Anything else you guys want about what's on the story?
And notice the capital letter every time he starts the sentence.
So that was the story. Next we're talking about how do you write tasty stories. So this is a tasty story with a topic sequence, 3 details, and a conclusion. I'm gonna repeat what I can't say one more time.
So what things do you notice in the
I
video?
can write stories about
can write stories that
Good.
details about the main event.
So we're going to take a look at our sample. So we have, my mom likes to plant flowers in the garden at my home. So there's a couple of errors that can be identified within this
Okay,
sentence.
so what you guys are going to
Would you like to help me identify some of the errors within the
piece of
sentence?
paper in front of you guys,
So,
and we're going to write.
In
a
order to
story
identify
about
errors
this.
when there's a capitalization error,
Remember,
we're going
when
to
you're writing a
circle it
story,
and correct it. If there's a spacing error, we're going to circle it
remember when you're
or
writing a
put
story, you have a
arrows
topic,
indicating to
details,
put the
and
space closer together.
in front of
So
you,
just
have
look
a
at the
piece of
first
paper.
line.
There's
My
gonna be boxes
mom
for you to
likes
draw your
to.
pictures, and then
Within the
mine
first
is
line, is there anything that you can tell me that looks incorrect?
about,
The
your-
mine, the M,
And what's wrong about this word?
it's lowercase, it's supposed to be capital,
So the M is lowercase because, and it should be capital Y.
because it's the start of the sentence.
Good. Are there any more errors you can identify in the first sentence?
The Y in mine, it's supposed to be lowercase.
Okay?
Yes.
Give me another.
So you wanna make sure that, you're not starting both of the sentence with 2 capital letters, cause it's like we're shouting. So we're just gonna have, my mom likes to plant flowers.
I can.
So is there any more errors that you can identify in the first sentence?
My favorite food
The L
is
in
French
mine,
fries.
And what's wrong about the L?
Are made from potatoes.
it's supposed to
French
be
fries can be
lowercase.
topped with
Right.
many things like cheese or gravy. My
We don't
favorite
wanna
type of
put
French
unnecessary
fries are from
capital
McDonald's.
letters in the
I
middle of
love
a
French
sentence.
fries.
So we have, my mom likes to plant flowers in the garden at my home. In this line, do we have any, errors?
The topic of this one?
The capital I. So again, how we have likes, there shouldn't be a capital letter right here, cause it's the middle of the
And then
sentence.
would you guys like
Right.
to talk about, one detail in your story?
Now, we've been focusing on the capitals, but can you guys point out any spacing errors?
French fries can be topped with many
The,
things like
plant
cheese and
flowers.
gravy.
Good.
My favorite type of French fries are from.
And why shouldn't we write plant flowers close together like this? Is this one word?
And then would you like to
Right, so we
explain
should
Yeah.
space it apart because it's 2 separate words and we don't wanna read it together.
And the second picture is of fries with cheese, and the other picture is of McDonald's.
Gentlemen, would like to go next?
My mom likes to plant flowers in the garden at my home. Now, on the last line, can anybody identify
I
any
also
errors?
like Cali roll. My favorite restaurant is Sushi Republic. Sushi is my favorite.
And then would you like to,
And-
talk about what is
Yes,
Jordan's?
so my mom likes to plant flowers in the garden at my home. So,
What is
I was about to say, do you have any more errors that you guys can identify?
We're supposed to have a comma, right? My mom likes to plant
I do
flowers.
not like raw
A comma
fish
should be
is
right
another
there.
one.
And then what's the
After
third
plant
reason?
flowers?
My favorite restaurant is
Cause then
Sushi
we'd be like
Republic.
running
And
down
how
the
did you,
sentence.
how
You
did
take
you
a
complete
pause
your
and then
story?
keep reading.
Sushi
Yeah.
is my favorite.
Okay, and then Jordan, would you like to
Now,
explain your
okay.
photo?
You got the number space in there.
Mhm.
So right here, I have a picture
Plant
of
flowers at the
sushi, and then I also
So right here,
have a shrimp,
and what's wrong with this spacing right here? Is it too small or too big?
and then I have a picture
And when the
of my
error,
favorite
and when the
restaurant,
spacing is too
which
big, what do we do?
And then what are you guys' favorite restaurants?
Good. So now, can somebody read this sentence to me the correct way that it should be read?
My
Taco
mom
Bell.
likes to plant
With
flowers.
Addie? Would
In
you
the
like to
garden
finish us
at
off
my
with, what your
Good.
stories, what your stories?
Sure. My favorite restaurant is McDonald's.
Now,
McDonald's, I
since
took
we
my
were able to
cousins
go back
eat
and identify
chicken
all the
nuggets
errors in
and
this
french
writing,
fries. My mom
we're gonna
said
go
the
back
playhouse is too dirty,
in
so
your
we go
writing,
to the park.
and here's the sample that you did last week.
I love my
You wrote your
cousins eat
story.
French fries.
Now, can you describe your story, and can you tell me where you see any capitalization or any spacing errors within your story?
So my story was about, me and my friend, we went to the ice cream truck and then, we went home and played in the sprinklers and then we baked muffins and put icing on them.
Right,
And then how
So,
does she conclude?
I love my
So,
cousins only eat
within
French
your
fries and
stories, the first sentence is, my best friend came to my house.
So
and the
I have
ice cream truck
McDonald's
came.
here with,
So in
me and
this
my
first
cousins
sentence,
at
can you identify
McDonald's,
any
and
errors
then,
how we did in this one?
this is
Any
me and my
capitalization or
cousins,
punctuation that you think you
playing,
should change now that we went over it again?
And then this is me with my cousins at the
Good,
playhouse.
the K and the K.
Actually, at
So
the
should it
park,
be uppercase or lowercase?
eating chicken nuggets.
So, make the correct errors.
So we just
Try
learned how
to
to
write.
write tasty stories. We're gonna go over one more.
Good, so she changed her uppercase K to a
So we
lowercase
write
K.
tasty stories, we have a topic.
Now, when we keep on reading, it says, to my house and the ice cream truck
Tasty
came.
stories.
So what other errors can you show
I
me
can
within
write
this sentence?
stories that include details
the M
about
in
our
my
main, about the main event.
Yes,
So Pete, that's.
so we will make the mine, the M in the
I
mine,
can write
lowercase.
stories that include details about the main event.
And then there's also a space between the
So you want to
and ice cream.
Right. So the space is way too big in the, middle of the sentence, so we need to make sure we close that space up because there shouldn't be a pause there.
And then you had them do the same
No, we
thing,
keep
so
on
they know
reading.
exactly how to do it.
Was that the only?
I like how you related
Okay.
students to.
So those were 3 errors that she had within her writing. So we wanna make sure that we're correcting our writing and we're gonna go back and make sure that we're using the correct spacing and the correct capitalization. So, can anybody tell me why capitalization is important and what do we do with capital letters?
You, get it
Well,
to
they're
them,
not
you
even,
ask
because I
like,
put right at
break
the
ask like
end,
a
it
dating
starts
question.
to begin.
You repeat it
Right,
back
so how we have
and
mine,
you did an independent
and,
portion, so like they wrote
how we
down
have the L right here, you don't wanna capitalize that because that's not the beginning of the sentence. And can anybody tell me,
No, I just like
how do we
like,
use our finger space,
doing
how
that
do we use
lesson,
our
you,
finger
like, highlight
to
it,
define
you know, like,
spaces in a
topic and then,
sentence?
like, the different
And why do we
sections
have
of it.
spaces in our
Like
sentences?
is that light
We
green?
put our finger
Yeah,
green
it's like green and
Yeah.
yellow.
middle to
Yeah.
see if it's right.
That's one.
Why do you like?
And why do we do that?
It just shows like,
So that it doesn't
like
look like
at the
one.
top, it shows like the
Right.
topic and then it shows.
So you
like,
wanna
the
make sure the
details on
words
it.
are not all
Yeah,
running
and then,
together
like,
like this,
they
because
also,
someone
I
may
think,
confuse this as
highlighted
one
the
word and they may
conclusion
not
too, I think.
know, what it
So,
says.
yeah,
And we wanna
it
make
just
sure that
shows,
it's not a
like,
big
where
gap, because
where it
it's,
starts and where it ends.
sometimes you don't need all of this space right here. You don't need that big of a pause,
Alright, trade places, that was great.
so.
Trade places. So you all gonna do.
Oh, so let's, go over, after we just talked about our punctuation and the importance of the capitals and spaces, let's go back over our I can statement for today. I can use proper capitalization and spacing in my writing. Good job, everyone.